Yeah, there we go. Press record. I don't know what portion it's recording right now. It's recording my entire desktop. Alright, I'm okay with that. Alright, let's see what we're working with. I don't know what we're gonna call this podcast as of right now, but we're doing it. So here's what I'm working with. Yeah, here's what I'm working with. I got the Stone IPA right there. It's a 6.9% IPA for alcohol. That's probably intentional, I would say, given the look of the bottle. It's just really fucking edgy. Their bottle cap.
Yeah.
Apparently, if I can recall what the box said, it scored a 96 and a 100 in 2 different beer festivals for its flavor and what type of beer it is.
Really?
Yeah. So I said I ought to try it.
I might have to try that.
I don't know. Like, you don't like beer, do you? Like,
not really, no.
No. Then you
I'm
probably.
not sure what it is about beer that I don't like.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't like an IPA. Like, this is beer. It's kind of hard to handle for me, actually. It's their 20-year anniversary, apparently. Is that?
Nice.
Yeah, 20-year anniversary for this Stone legendary West Coast style IPA. West Coast. I've had a West Coast style IPA before, but I didn't enjoy it as much as this one right here. Yeah. Other than that, I got coffee. Enjoy it.
Nice. It's only 9 at night. Coffee.
Who cares? I got a pretty high tolerance for coffee. Alright. So I have.
Yeah, you drink like 4 of it.
Yeah, I drink like 4 cups a day on average. As long as it's under, I think it's either 4 or 300 micrograms of caffeine a day, then you're fine. You're golden. So that's like, if you're exceeding that limit, it's bad for you. Just for reference, I think the caffeine amount in a regular shot of espresso is 50 micrograms. It's either 50 or 100. I don't really care to do the research. You don't drink coffee, do you?
Alright. I'm something pretty plain simple. It's a red wicked black cherry, because I'm a basic bitch. 8% alcohol content. It's pretty smooth. It actually tastes kind of like, you remember that cherry flavored like cough syrup we get as kids if we got sick? It kind of has that like nostalgic taste to it, which might be why I like it so much. But yeah, I'm not a big beer guy, so a fruity drink kind of hits the spot.
Yeah. And then you have liquor, which goes for anyone besides like your basic girl. Not trying to be misogynistic, but they'll enjoy a much fruitier liquor than like the average person would.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What was that whiskey that you made us try? Oh, here's a picture of Brad.
What?
I got a picture of Brad up right now. It's just I have a alright, before I stray off, what was the whiskey called that we took shots of? It was related to a band, I think.
Was it Cold Cock?
Yes, it was. It had the.
Yeah, Cold Cock. That was made by or like the Kerry King from Slayer is one of like the guys who like co-founded the company, I think.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Slayer.
It's insane, man.
Slayer's like Misfits as far as legendary and iconic goes, but there's very few, like, you know, the people, they'll wear the t-shirts but they won't even listen to the band. Misfits is a perfect example. Nirvana's another example. What is that? What's the album?
Metallica,
Not Metallica is not as much. I know they're the four thrash gods, but I don't think people.
No, but I mean like people will wear their shirts but not even like.
Yeah. I understand what you're talking about, but I don't think people will really like propagandize off of Metallica because I think most people actually listen to their songs. As opposed to Slayer. God, what is the band that sings I don't practice Santeria? Oh God, no.
Sublime.
Sublime. That's another one. Yeah. So it's
even Bob Marley.
Bob Marley too. Half of these people don't even like. I saw the Misfits apparel everywhere. It's at every concert you go to. Like you'll always see some Misfits apparel. And I just recently started listening to them.
Yeah, I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
I see their shit everywhere.
Yeah, most people don't. But yeah,
it's just hip
like I think
to them, you know, or half the shit by them.
Yeah, I think most people would not like the band if they actually listened to them because they're hardcore punk. That's what they are.
Oh, definitely.
So I mean, there's not many hardcore punk fans, at least as far as millennials go and Generation Y, that really enjoy like hardcore punk.
Yeah, like the old school stuff, like Misfits, Sect, the Souls,
Descendants still make music. Like they're pretty big now, even. Of course, Misfits is sort of
they
in
still have a pretty good legacy.
Yeah, Misfits is sort of still in the like the legacy thing. Where
they're doing a reunion tour now.
They are. I know they are. They were at Riot Fest, and they were the headliner for Riot Fest.
Oh yeah.
You saw that? It said the original. It said the original Misfits right here. Let me actually read off this set list right here because I know it was really good this year. Riot Fest lineup 2016.
I'm trying to think if I remember seeing like what bands were there. Yeah. Slayer might have been there, but I could be wrong about that.
I think Slayer was. Oh God. Whenever I'm doing action, it always slows my computer up because it's using that RAM, and then Skype on top of it.
Yeah, I see your video starting to lag a little bit on my end.
Oh, you see my screen? Or, oh, you, okay.
No, I see like what searching like saying like your video footage.
Okay. Dang, what the hell? Alright. I don't, okay, alright, yeah. Now I see it. Okay. There was 2 shows, one in Denver and one in Chicago. The first one was Jane's Addiction for Friday. Like, do you want me to read off like the first 2 lines or the first line or what?
Yeah, just like the main headliners of each
main headliners, people you probably would know.
Yeah.
All right, Jane's Addiction, headliner. Death Cab for Cutie.
Okay.
Death Cab for Cutie, headliner. Deftones. Descendants. No Effects.
There we go.
Motion City Soundtrack. Suicidal Tendencies.
another punk legacy right there.
Yeah. Lagwagon. Lagwagon's really. I like Lagwagon a bit better than NoFX. I know NoFX is the big thing with Fat Mike and everything, but I honestly like Lagwagon a bit better because he's a bit of a better.
I actually never heard of Lagwagon until today. Actually,
What?
No.
No.
I was listening to Shane Told from.
Really?
I was listening to Shane Told from Silverstein, his podcast, Lead Singer Syndrome. I was listening to him talking to Mike Herrera from NXPX.
Yeah.
And they started talking about Lagwagon, and I was like, oh, who are these guys?
Huh. I can't believe you haven't heard of Lagwagon before. Like, they're... Okay, you know Fat Mike's label, Fat Records?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're their head, they're the head label mate on there. Yeah. He's just a better singer all around. Of course, NoFX is gonna be that edgy Fat Mike being super offensive and everything like that. But I mean, Lagwagon has the better song structure in my opinion. But that's just me. So we also have the Aquabats. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Heard of them?
The Wonder Years. Fucking awesome band. Awesome band.
We're gonna be seeing them later this month, right?
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, honestly, because I have work. I can't miss work because I have to pay for rent.
Right.
And everything else going on, school. I really can't miss another day. But I mean, I've seen them. It's either 2 times or 3 times I've seen them. I know for sure I saw them with. Okay, yeah, I did see them 3 times. I saw them once with The Story So Far when they did that whole tour. I saw them once. Yeah, The Story So Far,
right.
The Story So Far, Narwhals, and The Wonder Years. And that's how the Narwhals got big because of that tour. Then the second time I saw them was with. It was at. Fuck, what was it? Skate and Surf. And that was really cool. And I mean, I was way far back in the crowd for that concert, and there was still mosh pits all around me, hardcore pushing, everything like that. People crowd surfing.
Hardcore dancing.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, you're always gonna have that asshole in there. Like, the swinging.
Dude, I saw Knuckle Puck at Warped Tour this year, and they had hardcore dancers in their pit. I was like, how do you hardcore dance to Knuckle Puck?
Yeah, that's for sure. But, I mean, people will find an excuse to while out, using a millennial term, while out to any music, just because they want to.
I want to see a bunch of hardcore dancers at like a John Mayer concert or something.
Oh, I guarantee someone is there doing that. Just some asshole trying to start a mosh pit by throwing his fists around like a fucking ape, like a gorilla or something. And
the cover of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that meme is dead. It's dead now. But you know,
it has to be. It's all too long.
It has to be because I mean, what the meme started like 2 or 3 months after his actual death, which is so weird. I don't really understand how stuff like that happens. But yeah, the Cincinnati Zoo. It's Cincinnati, not Cleveland, right?
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Okay, I think it's Cincinnati. They tried to ban Harambe memes, like, on the internet in general, and that just made people want to. Yeah, it just made people want to throw more memes out there about them just out of spite. But yeah, I think it's awesome. Anything like that, really causes spite as far as memes go, at least. All right.
There's gonna be a pop in that writes a song about Harambe at some point soon. When the meme's already dead, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I kind of remember that." Cool.
What? Okay. I don't know if you probably don't know who Travis Scott is. He's really big.
Travis Scott.
You know Travis Scott? All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
His new project had a song on there that was named Harambe, and he said the titles of the tracks were all based off of people that highly influenced him. So it was on there with Gandhi and Kanye West, and then you just have fucking Harambe on track 7.
That's actually funny shit.
Yeah, we definitely took the meme too far. It's time to move on.
Yeah, watching you drink your coffee, I'm sorry to go off track a little bit, but watching you drink your coffee, have you ever put rum chata in?
Wait. I don't think I've ever put rum chata in there, but I have put Bailey's and Kahlua in there.
That's good, but like
that's
I think you saw my tweet like from a couple weeks. I think you saw my tweet from a couple weeks ago where I said like making Caribbean coffee. I put like I put in like I made a cup of coffee, rum chata in it for as creamer, and then I put like 2 like really tiny scoops of sugar just to make sure it wasn't like too bitter. Because I didn't know how sweet the rum chata would make coffee or not. So it actually worked out pretty good. Couldn't sleep all night, but I got a good buzz.
I mean, something that delicious is really worth it. Yeah, I normally don't put anything in my coffee other than some sort of unsweetened cream. But if I'm making an alcoholic coffee drink, I'll put something sweet in there.
I'm thinking about this. It's the first time I've drank it in like a couple of weeks now.
Really? You already feeling it, or are you still working on that first one?
Oh no, I'm still working on it. But just thinking about it, I haven't drank in a while.
Then it'll probably hit you pretty soon. What are those things? 8%?
Yeah, 8%. I'm almost done with it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna hit you soon. I've already had 2. Well, not 2, like 1.5. And I'm feeling it, but I also, I mean, yeah, I'm already feeling the alcohol for sure. Nice. All right. So you want to hear more bands that were there?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we got off track a little bit there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I want this thing to flow. Just I'm gonna plug Joe Rogan, but yeah, the way his podcasts work, most of them have like a certain line of topics that they are going to cover just to keep the conversation flowing pretty smoothly. But if it gets off topic, that's okay. They'll just go that direction, and if they run out of things to say about that certain topic, they'll go back and do another topic just to keep themselves on track. Which it's genius. It's really genius.
Yeah, like a lot of podcasts do that. Like I've been listening to Shane Toll's podcast a lot. I know it's mainly like music based and just lead singers talking to one another. But they go off topic all the time. Like they talk about like when they were kids. Like he was talking to the lead singer of State Champs, Derek. And they just started talking about like hockey for like 20 minutes and like how he was back in high school. And he almost went off to like Canada to do like a hockey training camp where he could have ended up in the NHL instead of being lead singer of State Champs.
Yeah, that's really smart. I feel like a lot of people have actually done that. You know who 2 Chainz is, right? The rapper.
2 Chainz.
Yeah, that fucking guy. So he.
For those listening, I don't know a lot of rap, so.
You You don't listen to a lot of rap. Yeah, I knew that. But 2 Chainz was a straight A student all through high school and had a 4.0 average. Okay, get this. And then he got a scholarship. I forget to what college, but it was a full ride scholarship for basketball. And you know what he did? He didn't go to college, and he started making music. Because he's so smart that he knows how to exploit the media and exploit culture to make his songs hits. I mean, obviously, even if you do a whole lot of research, you're not bound to make good songs or good songs. But it'll always take a certain touch and a certain degree of skill to do something like that, regardless of your knowledge or anything. And that probably goes for everything, to be honest.
Yeah, in all honesty, that goes like in any aspect of life.
And it's a seriously cool career music is.
It is. I want to do it so bad. Like, dude, we need to get Hi-Fi for Logic up and running.
Yeah, we do.
He needs to get a drum set.
Aaron has money to get a drum set, which I think he's still on the fence about that, but I feel like he's eventually gonna come to the decision to purchase one. He's talking about, but I'm not gonna. But he also has the option to go to Colorado. It's just again, and live over there. It's just it's just a matter of what he decides. If he stays in the area, I believe he's going to purchase a drum set because his dad is building a separate garage, and that's probably where we would practice and play. Which I'm stoked for if that eventually happens. What would you?
Oh yeah, because when you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, because last time, like, you and Brad were at my house, like, right after the Offspring show, like, I was showing you guys, like, some of the riffs and lyrics I wrote.
Yeah.
Like, and then I had Brad, like, try to write lead parts over top of it, because I'm like, I'm desperately trying to get these songs together and stuff. Now all it needs is bass and drums.
Yeah, I mean, bass, if you play guitar, is fairly easy to catch on to play. It's just getting a bit more technical. You can play bass if you play guitar. That's a given. It's just getting more technical with bass is the thing that is a bit harder. That's just, have you snowboarded before? I think you have, right?
Yeah, we went snowboarding one time when we were working at Macedonia. I'm not good at all.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, but snowboarding is really hard to get into. But once you get into it, you can progress a lot faster.
Right.
It's like playing piano or playing guitar. But if you go into bass or skiing, it's easy to get into, but it's hard to get good at. Does that make sense? I really like that correlation. Snowboarding relates to guitar because it's hard to get into but easy to progress at. Bass, easy to get into. Skiing, easy to get into, but hard to progress
at. Okay, yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Like, bass is very, like, kind of straightforward when you get to the simple aspect of it. But then when you start getting into, like, the technical stuff, like the slapping, the pops, and stuff like that, it's just like, how the fuck do you do that?
Yeah. And strings are so fucking big.
Yeah. I remember when I was recording bass for the EP from This Time Tomorrow, it was like Tyler's old bass, and like the strings hadn't been changed in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And like the bass sounded like utter shit. And then I changed the strings right before we recorded, and Aaron's just like, shit, that's you just changed the strings. That's all it did. I'm like, yeah. And it sounds like
strings,
5 times better. It's
you
great.
can have a shit guitar, but if you change your strings regularly, it becomes a whole different guitar. I don't know if I don't know if you've ever seen live sessions of Willie Nelson. You probably don't go into that realm of music, but he has a shit guitar that he's played for years, like probably decades. You know where the pick guard is supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't. He didn't have one. I think. Let me pull up a picture real quick, because I'm really interested in. Willie Nelson live acoustic guitar. He's got a name for it? No way. Yeah.
Also have a name for the guitar.
Alright. So, this guitar, it might have originally had a pick guard, but it doesn't anymore. It's an old ass guitar that he's played at numerous live shows. But in that pick guard area, there's a literal hole. Like, there's a gaping hole right there. But since he probably changes his strings very regularly, the thing still sounds good. Because I've watched a couple of his live sessions, and he's just amazing. Look at that face.
Yeah, Willie Nelson is very good. Very good musician.
No matter what genre, I think you can find one song in it that's good, no matter what the genre is.
At least, yeah. One.
You always have to appreciate a person who is very skilled at what they do, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I have no bias against any genre. There are country songs out there I like. There's jazz I love. There's bluegrass that I like. There's rap songs that I like a lot. I just kind of focus more on punk and metal and stuff. That's just my personal favorites.
Yeah, people are gonna have their personal favorite genres, but everyone is entitled to having a bias towards some certain genres. I just feel like people really should be inclined to appreciate someone who's good at what they do, unless it's illegal or highly illegal or murder or shit like that. But that's apparent.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really have been enjoying jazz lately. I listen to that daily.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I've also recently dove into older style, Led Zeppelin era rock and hardcore punk.
Nice.
And I'm really enjoying those. Those are polar opposites. Jazz is played very intricately and different notes, sometimes slow, whereas hardcore punk is basic chords, really, really fastly played. Totally,
definitely.
Totally polar opposites between those genres. But still, I can enjoy both of them in their own way.
Oh, yeah. I like how you brought up Led Zeppelin because, I'm looking at my record player that's sitting across my room, and I actually have a few of my dad's old Led Zeppelin albums, sitting in here.
You got a vinyl player?
Yeah.
Huh. People, I've never, I've said I've heard vinyl before, but I've never heard vinyl, but I hear people swear
it sounds better.
Yeah, that it sounds better. It has a sort of a classic.
It does have a different sound than an MP3 or a CD. I wouldn't say it's better. It's just a little bit different. And yeah, people can prefer that over like a digital copy or CD, but I think more like elitists and people who just want to like go with the flow say, "Oh, it's so much better." Because I feel like when like the whole hipster thing like kind of sparked, I think that's around the same time vinyl started making it back, and they're like, "Oh, vinyls sound so much better than MP3s."
Which, I mean, it has that classic feel. Like, I mean, this is based off of what I've told in the research I've done. It has the classic feel because the old style recording was through analog.
Right.
Because vinyl caught on through the hipster spark, people like Foo Fighters and a lot of these new indie bands started recording in analog as opposed to digital recording. And that's why these people listen to these old records, see how vinyl is meant to be heard, or in their mind, music is meant to be heard, as opposed to the techies who feel like these new artists that are producing high quality digital files like to be heard through a DAC system with very expensive headphones. So you have the two sides of the music listener industry. What?
I'd love to hear like an EDM like song on vinyl. See how that
God, dude, that would sound so weird.
Oh my god, it'd be horrible.
You think it'd be horrible?
I think it would be too weird to enjoy.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird. But at the same time, anything that's really interesting, like take freeform jazz for example. It doesn't matter how you listen to fucking freeform jazz, it's gonna sound super interesting and super intriguing. So something like listening to a high quality digital file through analog or a record player would sound really interesting. And something that grabs your interest is really important for finding pleasure for that certain thing or finding appreciation.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Shock rock like Guar, offensive punk like NoFX, yeah, fucking Guar, or like shock rap like Odd Future, Tyler the Creator. Just you have
or
to
even go back as far as ICP, Insane Clown Posse.
Oh yeah, like super offensive, shocking type music that is supposed to grab your attention.
Or even early Slipknot, early Manson.
Yeah, early Manson, early Slipknot, meant to grab your attention, and you have
to. System of a Down. Sure.
Yes. Well, in a way, but I mean, those guys are, they're crazy. Surge.
Yeah.
You know, I forget what video. I forget what video Brad showed me, but no. I think it was Zach Seastrom that showed me this. It was Surge singing something about like his pushing his baby, like his woman, obviously not his literal baby, off a cliff, and like him singing behind a full orchestra about his baby falling on the rocks below or something like that. Like the music itself is so beautiful, but the lyrics are just so crazy. Like you have to appreciate something like that. Like someone that's that crazy.
If you can do something like so like crazy or like depressing or disturbing like that and make it sound beautiful, that's a really good move on your part.
Yeah, it is.
Like I forget what early band that did this song. It was back in like the 70s or 80s, I think. My dad was telling me about it. Like there's this like really slow song, and people think it's like a really romantic song, but the song itself is actually about a cruise ship going through like a storm while out on the water, and then everyone on the boat like getting seasick and like puking everywhere. But everyone thinks of it as like this really romantic song.
People are so easily swayed. Man.
And another song like where it sounds like, well, this one's a little bit of a stretch when it comes to like sounding full, but A Little Piece of Heaven by Avenged Sevenfold. Like they have a full orchestra behind them, and it's like this really disturbing 8-minute song about like a man proposing to his wife or to his girlfriend. Girlfriend says no. He snaps, kills her, keeps the dead body around for personal pleasure. Then she comes back from the dead, kills him. So while they're in the depths of hell, he pleads, saying, I'm sorry, I did all this to you. Will you please take me back? Will you love me forever? She's like, yeah, okay, I'll say yes this time. They get married, and then they go on like a murdering spree. And that's like the whole song.
What? It's fucking insane.
And then they have an animated music video with it. It's hilarious.
Let me pull this up. That sounds really interesting. Alright.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it, man.
No, I haven't. I don't listen to much of Avenged Sevenfold, but the stuff I've heard is really cool. Alright, what's it called?
A Little Piece of Heaven. Yeah, they play it as like their encore song the 2 times I saw them. It was crazy.
I really love to see them. Okay, so you said you said they made a whole orchestra version of that, like classical music version.
No, like what you're listening to, like studio. Well, this is when the Rev was still alive.
What?
He like disappeared for like a few. What?
Who are you talking about?
The Rev, the original drummer from Avenged Sevenfold, Jimmy Sullivan.
Okay.
He died back in 2009. This was released back in 2007. When they were recording this album, he kind of like disappeared for a little bit, for like a few days, I think. And then he comes in one day into the studio, and he's like, yo, record me playing this song. And he goes up to a piano, and he plays like this whole song for 8 minutes with his right hand. Then he's like, okay, record this over top of it. Records him playing piano with his left hand for a whole 8 minutes. And he's like, okay, record my drums. And then he records drums for 8 minutes. And then like he's showing the guys the lyrics, and they're just like, and most of them are just like, this is weird. And then they're like, but then like M. Shadows, the singer's just like, let's put this on an album. Let's see what we can do with this. So like they did all like the guitar and bass, and then the vocals and stuff. It just needs more. And so they got a bunch of string players like cellos, violins, violas, double bass. Then they got the horns and stuff and played over top of it. And the final result was the one that came up on the album, where I guess it's not a full orchestra, but you can hear all the different instrumentation throughout the song.
Still, yeah, that's really weird that it was so soon to when that went down. How did he die?
From what I remember, there's probably details I'm gonna miss. He had an enlarged heart, which was the main cause of his death, but he was drinking the night of his death. Why'd you just bring up my video?
I'm sharing my desktop right now, so it seems a little so you can see what I'm seeing.
Okay, gotcha. So they were at a friend's wedding, I think, and he was drinking a lot at the wedding. And he also took some pills alongside of it. those two combined with his enlarged heart, he died in his sleep.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unsure if it was like an intended suicide or if he just died in his sleep by accident. Because like the final song he wrote on their Nightmare album is called Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
The original title for it was called Death. And that's the final song he wrote for a band before he passed. And my phone's blowing up right now.
Oh.
And it's like the lyrics are just so like sad and depressing. It just sounds like a suicide note. You like really pay attention to it. It's just like, shit. Was this like him saying goodbye, or was it just coincidental? You know?
I don't know. That's really strange. But that, in a way, it's kind of beautiful. In a way. Alright, don't look at this through what I'm seeing. If it's a suicide note, it's a suicide note through an entire musical album. And
well, it's actually just one song.
It's only one song? Okay, I thought.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, then. I'm sorry I said that. But.
No, not wrong. I didn't clarify myself too much.
Okay. That's like. I don't know. That's really strange. See, it's the way I see it, it's probably something that he's done before. Like taking those pills and did the whole ordeal that he did. It's just this time it kind of was an overdose, or it just happened out of random, because I mean things work in percentages.
Right.
Like that's how overdoses happen. It's what these people do on the regular, but one day it just goes wrong. That's just what happens. But what you're saying about the song, it might have been intentional, but that's a whole gray area.
Yeah, it is very much a gray area. Only he would know, and maybe people who were like really close to him. I don't. From what I understand, the band even like considered his best friends and his brothers. They didn't really even know. But maybe they just didn't want to release everything. I don't know, like to keep kind of like some stuff private. I think when you're famous like that, it's hard to keep a lot of things private. And I respect if someone wants to keep something like that, like private and away from the media, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's just.
So I haven't really read up about it in a few years, so I'm probably like a little iffy on like some of the details.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it's really strange. Stuff like that's happened. Speaking of suicide, what do you think about the Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain whole ordeal with El Duce and the whole media coverage and the conspiracy theories about that? What do you think of all of that? Because I mean, I've heard all the research through Brad and the My Career Hour, but that's basically that's basically all the research I've done on that.
I haven't dwelled or dove too much into it. Like I've heard of the conspiracy theories that Courtney Love actually him and stuff like that, but honestly, I don't think all that's true. Like I don't know a lot of the details. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Courtney was part of the reason Kurt was so depressed, because she's just a vile woman. But to say that she's the one who pulled the trigger on him, I think that's a little far.
Is it though? Is it?
From what I understand on it, yeah. That's just my opinion on it. Like obviously I don't know a lot about the conspiracy theories that people have been talking about, but from what I understand, I really think that Kurt was just really, really in a bad situation at that time, and just
something drove him to the edge. Not Courtney Love physically killing him. That's what El Duce said.
Love did help push him.
Oh yeah, that's a good. It's just the theory that Courtney Love physically killed him in person. That's the thing that El Duce said. Then the motherfucker got hit by a train like the next week or something. What is that? And
that's a little coincidental. That's weird.
And then the whole 27 Club thing, which I think that's just a coincidence in my opinion. I don't think that there's a company-esque thing or an organization out there that makes these certain icons die at age 27.
Yeah, no, it's very, very coincidental. It's actually kind of weird yet cool to look at that all these like icons died at the age of 27. It's very coincidental, and it's just a little weird. But yeah, I don't think there's any like real correlation between them.
So it's weird what things happen in the world. I work with people that think 9/11 was a planned attack in our own government. Obviously, it's a plan. Obviously, it's a planned attack because I mean, Osama bin Laden orchestrated it. So that itself was a plan, but I don't believe the whole elevator bomb thing, like the interior bomb thing. I don't believe all that, but I definitely see where people could believe in that. Whereas some other things that I just don't totally agree with. I can see I can see that most like a portion of these theories are plausible, but they're not highly possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. Like, I can see where someone who's like uber paranoid can like kind of put things together. Like, oh, this would never happen if this didn't happen, and this actually wasn't reported here. So how did this happen? And like people just being like so overly paranoid about it. It's just like, really, you really think all this happened? It's just like I don't believe in any of those like 9/11 uber conspiracies like Bush did it and stuff like that. But you can't change people's thoughts, unfortunately, in this day and age.
No, you really can't. Well, before we dive into that topic, you should go get another drink, and I'll pause it. You are down with that? All right,
I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, cool.
The Brian Stars controversy thing that's going on right now, if you've heard of it or
not. What about it?
Have you heard about the whole Brian Stars thing that's going on right now?
I have not. What's going on?
Oh, we're going to get into that in this episode.
Alright. Tell me about it. I would like to hear, because I think he...
Are you recording again?
Yeah, I'm recording again. I've been recording for like the past 10 seconds, I would say. So you can just...
Oh, okay.
You can go ahead.
So, I know how big of a fan of Brian Stars that you are, Casey.
I am not a big fan of his. I am not.
But no, you know how he was doing that whole My Digital Escape thing on whatever, like he was collaborating with a bunch of other like scene kids in their 20s. and they're making all these like weird ears and stuff. I never watched any of them because I think I attempted to watch them like when they were like in their early stages, and they were just awful and annoying, and I just wanted no part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched his original Warped Tour interviews because they were actually fucking good, and he actually asked some legitimate questions. Along with which I don't know if have you seen Talking with Soup? Soupy?
No.
You haven't seen Talking with Soup? Soupy takes
No, I haven't.
Soupy takes these well, for starters, Soupy is the lead singer of the Wonder Years. I know you knew that, but I'm just telling people. Soupy is the leader of the Wonder Years, and he had this YouTube series. I don't know if it was on any other platform at the time, but he takes these lead singers and these figures in the scene or the musical industry, and he interviews them. And I don't know if you've ever seen Soupy talk, like on any videos, but he's a very lively person. And like he did one with Kellen Quinn, he did one with the lead singer of Into It Over It, just several other people that like are kind of key in the musical scene and kind of good in that aspect.
Right.
And I mean that's basically it. But they're really good, and I would probably rate them over Brian Stars. But the reason Brian Stars got big is because of his interviews. And as soon as he came out with his own original content, I didn't really watch any of it because none of it really intrigued me or it didn't relate to me. But I would rather see him interview these figures. But I don't really know why he doesn't do it anymore. It doesn't make sense to me.
He released a video, I never watched it, saying like, "Oh, I stopped interviewing because blank." I think it was mainly because bands were just annoyed of him, because there's actually been a few like members that have like come out just like, "I can't stand this kid, he's horrible," and stuff like that. Yeah, like Telly from the Word Alive, he said how horrible he was and stuff like that. He's interviewed him like 3 or 4 times. He's interviewed Bless the Fall 7 times. Asking Armsdale interviewed him 9 or 10 times. Black Veil Bride's probably like 12 times. Yeah. But
times?
He did that whole My Digital Escape thing.
Wait, no. He interviewed Black Veil Brides 10 times? Is that what you're saying right
12.
now? 12 times? What? Like, why? Why? You would just name it like its own segment or something. Like, why is it not Brian Stars and so a band? I don't know. I don't feel like you need to interview that person that many times. Like,
not at all.
Like 2 to 5 times I can understand because they have their lives and you can see them after a number of years and see how they progress because they'll have more stories. But how far were they spaced out as far as interviews go? Like a month,
like a
week,
months a piece.
What?
They were probably like a few months a piece, probably like 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 months.
A few months a piece?
Yeah.
That's stretching it. That's stressing it because Joe Rogan podcast, he'll interview one dude and he'll wait like a year or 2 to interview that same dude because it's like, or at least like 3 months to interview the same dude because that in that amount of time they're able to generate new stories to tell you and you have new topics to talk about because key events take a few months up to a year to actually happen within your life, within your own life. So if he's interviewing them with like like 2 weeks to 1 month between every session, I can see where the band would get annoyed with him. Just seeing him so much and seeing him ask the same exact questions every time.
If you were a porn star, what would your porn star name be?
Wait, what?
That was his big. What's your porn star name?
Okay, yeah. I remember that. I haven't watched them in a long time. Okay, so sorry if I don't really remember anything. They're not that memorable. They're really not.
They're not. The whole Never Shall Never one, that was memorable, but... But anyway, I'm getting a little off topic. The whole controversy that's going on now is that he did the whole My Digital Escape thing with, like, 6 other YouTubers who were, like, kind of, like, in the music scene, kind of, like, scene-ish and whatnot.
Yeah, like Johnny and Social Repos and people like that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like all those type of people. And they did that for a little bit, and then, like, after a year, they went on tour for some reason.
What?
Like, just going around meeting people all across the country.
I can get that. Some YouTubers do that, like with justification, like doing stand up or whatever. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying with, like, the whole stand up thing, but, like, I really don't know what they were doing on these tours. Like, I see some YouTubers, like, they go to conventions and stuff, like, for video games or YouTube conventions and stuff like that, and then they have their own channels and stuff.
Yeah.
But literally, just these 7 people going city to city, and I don't know what else they did besides meet their fans for hours.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what else they did.
Yeah.
But, like, soon after they did this tour, the whole My Digital Escape thing broke up. They were done.
I think,
and
something like that. Okay, let me say something real quick. I think something like that with those people, because they're so similar and share the exact same opinions, they would run out of things to talk about within that amount of time and tend to not talk to each other and not like each other, because in that amount of time they would not want to redo My Digital Escape because they spent that much time together. Correlates to, say, if you listen to one song or let alone an album for weeks on end, you're gonna get sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say you really, really, really enjoy this album and you play it non-stop. Since these people agree with each other so much that they constantly like each other at the first week, but week after week after week, they would get sick of each other. So that's why, in my opinion, they didn't continue the segment.
Yeah, I think that was also part of it, but I learned a few more details, like which I'm going to get into in a minute. But the whole My Digital Escape thing broke up, so it's like, oh, okay, whatever. Well, apparently, like a week or so ago, Brian posted a video on the My Digital Escape YouTube channel saying, "Hey, it's Brian Stars," and like saying basically they're coming back, but it's going to be Brian and 6 different people. It's going to be My Digital Escape 2.0.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah. So,
after what happened, it just doesn't make sense to me why he would redo it.
But the thing is, like, the original members of My Digital Escape had no idea this was going on, and Brian actually blocked them and removed them as admins from the My Digital Escape page.
Yeah.
So they couldn't, like, go on there or do, like, anything. And he was, like, still selling merchandise, like, that even, like, individual members need and, like, their name were on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was keeping all the money for it. He wasn't giving them any profits for the merchandise from the whole, like, page.
That's big.
Then more details. What?
I said that's big.
Well, I mean, like...
No, I'm being serious. I'm not being sarcastic. Like, that's really big. That's legal right there. That's legal.
Yeah. And then, like, everybody, like, all the people who were on my digital escape, like, well, not all of them, like, some of them were releasing videos and stuff saying, like, he even threatened to sue them over, like, certain copyright issues, or, like, one of them wanted to do something, and he said, no, you can't do that, I'll sue you, blah, blah, blah. He's, like, selling all their, like, merchandise and stuff and keeping 100% of the profit, not letting them see a penny of it. And, like, there were 7 members, including Brian Stars, and they were all supposed to, like, kind of split it evenly. Brian elected himself to be the manager of the whole thing, and he would get a portion of everyone's profit, including his whole profit.
What?
Yeah, it was like crazy shit like that.
That's totally illegal. It really is.
Yeah.
Unless there was a flaw in the original contract, which I doubt there was, because they're just YouTubers, and they apply to certain standards within the YouTube policy.
Yeah.
So
there actually
if it
was like
that's illegal. You're taking money from a platform that you and other people created.
Exactly.
And then you're taking all the credit for it. And it's just ridiculous.
And the thing is, he actually tried forcing them to sign some sort of contract, basically saying, if you don't sign this contract, you're no longer part of my digital escape.
What?
He got, like, apparently he got, like, really money hungry, and, like, just didn't care about anybody else's well-being or how they felt about, like, the content they were creating. It's like, no, we're doing this. I'm Brian Stars. I know what I'm doing. We're doing what I want to do. I don't care what you say.
First off, no matter what he thinks he's doing, he's got to get rid of that fucking hair, dude. That hair is awful. That hair is shit. Let me look at his hair. That's reminiscent of like a poorly done bird nest right here.
God, this hair is just god awful.
It's like 400% zoomed in. Look at this.
Look at him trying to bite his lip and stuff, trying to look all sexy.
What is this right here? What is that? It's like someone just like dropped a mop on his head or something. I don't know. That hair is bad. Like, I'm fine with the geeky Brian Stars, like this motherfucker right here. I'm fine with him. Like, I'm not gonna judge him because that's just not who I am. But okay, here's a comparison right here. This compared to that, no. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life right here?
He's still in his, like, scene kid phase, and he's, like, 26, 27.
He's 26. No, there's no way.
He is. I'm pretty sure he's, like, 26 or 27. Like, look up his age.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But, he's 26 years old. Oh my god. Like, get over yourself. That's ridiculous. You're not 13 years old. Mom, it's just a phase.
It's just a phase, Mom. But, anyway, like, Johnny Gilbert and, like, other members of the whole My Digital Escape thing, they released videos talking about how fucked up he was being. Like, they were getting, like, really emotional in these videos about how fucked over they felt with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he released a video that was kind of set privately, like, you could only view it if you went to his channel and, like, saw it on the homepage.
Okay. So it didn't go in the sub boxes or anything like that?
No, it looks like it didn't. But, he was basically saying, yeah, I guess I kind of messed up. And then he was, like, talking about, like, yeah, I miss these guys. And then he, like, starts pointing them out individually, like, oh, that old time that we had together. It's like, he was, like, saying, he, like, half-heartedly said, yeah, I guess I fucked up. And then he was saying, like, oh, I remember when we did this together. Oh, this person, I remember when we did this together. let's look at the good old days, stuff like that. And that was his whole apology video. It was also he admitted to doing wrong, but was still playing the victim at the same time. And it was really confusing and awkward. I didn't even finish the video. It was 13 minutes long. And
here's the thing right here.
Oh,
I'll turn and refresh cover it. That's interesting.
That's actually the next part that I was about to get into.
Yeah.
That video I was just talking about, he actually deleted it.
He deleted it?
The next day he brought up. He posted this video the next day, and he's just crying the whole time during. He's just
oh my god.
Brian Stars, I'm the most hated person on YouTube right now.
There's no way. No, there's much more hated people on YouTube right now. I don't know if you're in. I don't know how much YouTube you watch, but there's so much more hated people in the YouTube community than this fucker right here. Yeah.
He's got a bunch of 13-year-old girls hating on him, so apparently he's the most hated person.
Yeah. I mean, he's based off of what he did, he's obviously grimy and just an all-around shit person for what he did. But at the same time, no, he's not the most shitty person on YouTube right now. The people in his clique should obviously be mad at him and probably press legal charges against him. But in my opinion, you shouldn't bring something like this to light, because this person right here he doesn't deserve the fame or infamy that he's getting, because based off of this, in my opinion, people like this know that they're getting a lot of drama around a certain shitty thing that they did. And this, the I fucked up video. So they're just gonna get a lot more attention based off of something like this. No matter how badly they did it, they're obviously looking for
more views
and more monetary gain because of this. Because this is such a shitty thing, and based off of what he did around this, Alt Press covered the story. Because Alt Press is so big, more people are going to look at it. Exactly. Where is this out on the homepage? October 3rd. Alright, let's go to the homepage. Let's see this. I guarantee it's one of the most looked at things.
Maybe?
No. I might be wrong. Fuck, I might be wrong.
Hit news real quick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
There
he is. 0 shares, but I mean,
who and just put together every I already saw on Twitter and YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
dude, this is really recent, actually.
Well, the thing is,
yeah, what? Dude, this is this article was like 7 or 8 hours old, which, I mean, that's not very far away. It's not very old. So that's pretty recent. Here it loaded. Look at the fucking shares right there. 5,719 shares. So that means 5,719 people roughly shared these people on other media platforms, just getting them more attention. And then people on those media platforms will look at that share and then look at him, which is getting him more views. It's just the way that system works. It's just so fucked up. He's getting more monetary gain. Okay, alright, let me do a little bit more research. Okay. You said...
Well, in that article, it has all the links to a bunch of different shit, a bunch of videos that other people posted.
It has the links to it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay, it is deleted. Alright. But he still has the My Digital Escape video, which means, all right.
No, that's
perfect.
The other one he deleted.
Yeah, but that's still a like that's a popular video right there. That's 204,000 views right here because it was a little bit edgy, a little bit weird. All right. So look at this. Based off of statistics, based off him monetizing the video, which I don't know if he did. Which he probably did. I don't know. Probably. If my assumption is right, he would have gained 2,475.6.2 US currency based off of this video alone. Now, if you go back to oh wait, no, that's not what I looked at. Alright, so his previous video.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Brian.
Fuck you.
Do you want to build a snowman? The whole, like, him and Johnny filming a video together. Like, that's an older video.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the side there.
Okay, I didn't. Oh yeah. I want to see that. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, like they filmed that years ago, dude.
Years ago. All right.
Yeah, it was like probably 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I bet he didn't give Johnny a penny of it. In all honesty,
you don't think so? There's no way. You think so? You think he's that scummy?
Maybe at the time he did, but like looking at just the fact that now they made that,
once it gets big, you don't think he gave anything to Johnny?
Just like I heard Johnny talk about and stuff like that, like how poorly he treated him towards the end and stuff, like in the last like 8 months to a year that they were like still friends. He just like kind of treated him like shit.
Okay, then he probably dropped earnings from him because there's probably, like, in most of these things there's really no contract on what they get as far as monetary values. Like, what is this shit? Brian Stars 2.0, get the fuck out of here. Okay, because this is how people work, this video and then the last video are going to have a little bit more views because they want to see where he went from the previous video to the current controversial video. And then you go prior to this one, you got 15,000 views. If my math is correct, that's about $140 because of that video. Compared to over $2,000 based off of this video. Now you tell me if that's not a business move.
That's a business move.
That's a business move. See? 26, 22, 14, 63, 204. There you go. I think people like this, people that get a little fame and deep down they're a little bit, like, they let something like this get to them, they're going to take advantage of it. And they're going to seek out monetary value because of it. And that's probably why his content went to shit. Because these people thought it was pretty cool. And then his views started dropping because these people didn't think that he was cool anymore.
Basically, yeah.
So, to gain more attention, he fucked these people over. I don't know who that is. And then, because of all that, he goes to this and gets more views. So it's like a last-ditch effort to get more money. I don't know. But that's just me. infamy works. Look at Donald Trump, for example. Infamy
I don't
works.
want to look at him.
It works. Infamy works. No matter how you look
Same
at
thing
it.
can be said about Hillary Clinton, man.
The
The
same thing can be said about Hillary Clinton.
I don't know. She's just a, like,
Dude.
obviously she is in the government, but because of the view of the government and based off of the previous things she's done, she's gonna get, okay, yeah, Hillary Clinton is the same route you can go with Donald Trump. Because of infamy, they've gained more views, gained more attention, gained more research because of the hatred of either party. Like, say you're Republican, say you're Democrat. Originally,
Right.
you look at the person you're supporting in the Democratic Party, and you villainize the person in the Republican Party, as opposed to if you're in the Republican Party already, you villainize the Democratic Party. You're going to vote for either person in spite of how shitty they are. You're voting for the lesser of two evils in this election. And
Basically.
it's shit. It
It
really
is. I
really
wish we
is
had
shit.
better. There are so many other candidates for the Republican Party I wish made it.
Brian,
And-
or fuck, not this fucker. Ben Carson, for example, would have been a stellar president because he's a normal person. Like, he's not
Yeah.
he's not like a figurehead looking to seek attention, not a billionaire or anything like that.
But
But
the
the
thing
thing
is,
is,
that's
that's
exactly
exactly
why
why
he didn't get the attention he deserved.
No,
Like,
the
he was just
reason
so quiet
okay,
and mild mannered, no one paid attention to him.
exactly.
He wasn't
didn't-
Rubio, he wasn't Trump, so
He didn't
it just
go through and say some shit to get attention.
exactly.
He stayed neutral and stayed the person who he was. He didn't go out and say, "Yo, let's build a wall to keep these immigrants out because I don't like them and I don't like what they're doing to the country," as opposed to, "Hey, let's focus on the environment. Hey, let's focus on this or this, which actually should be done for the American public."
Yeah.
People are gonna pay attention.
We're gonna focus on Trump.
People are going to overlook that guy because he's not in the headlines, because I mean nobody really cares about a person that shares the same views as them, because they know that they're going to agree with them no matter what. So they're going to look at this person, just like they're going to pay attention to the person that garners any more attention because of infamy. And that's the reason I think.
I mean, with
that's
the
the reason
whole,
I
Ted
think
Cruz
a
thing,
lot
the
of
Zodiac
people.
killer. I think that's why he got a lot of attention too.
Who?
Ted Cruz, that whole thing, that whole joke on the internet, that how he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Zodiac killer and stuff.
Dude,
I think that got a lot of people to look at him too.
memes help.
Yeah.
Infamous memes help people
To an extent, yeah, they do.
to an extent. They really do.
Honestly, I thought it hurt Ted Cruz a little bit, and people just like kind of kept him around so they could make more jokes about it. But honestly, of like the final three candidates for the Republican Party before Trump took it, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Trump, Cruz was probably the best of the three.
I don't know. I heard something about Cruz that was bad. Okay, what I'm gonna do is type in Ted Cruz bad. I'm gonna see what happens. Alright,
Zodiac killer.
alright. Alright. What is
Bad lip reading is the first choice. Okay.
I'm a okay. Rolling Stone. Okay, USA Today. I'm not gonna trust Rolling Stone because what was that controversy a couple of years ago about Rolling Stone? They covered a fake topic or something.
Then it wouldn't surprise me.
You know what I'm talking
Well, the
about?
thing is, USA Today is going to be very biased too towards the liberal media.
Oh no. Yeah. No, they're not. I looked up most trustworthy news outlets, and what was the list? It was a Business Outsider or Business Insider list of people that are or people that are basically unbiased. Where was US? Where's USA Today? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows down, and you can see where they're trusted in 4 of the they're trusted in 4 of the 5 topics, so that means they're unbiased.
Where's Fox News on that list? Where's Fox News on that list?
Okay, so if you look at this, look at the chart.
Okay.
It's consistently liberal and mostly liberal. If you go down to Fox News, they're more distrusted in the liberal aspect of things than the conservative type of things. So they're trusted within the conservative type of things than the liberal type of things, and then neutral. It's kind of like trusted in the middle. Because if you're gonna be completely biased, you're not gonna make the news. Like BuzzFeed, like look at BuzzFeed. They're not trusted at all. Like they sometimes cover like kind of cool trendy topics, but BuzzFeed sucks. They suck. They don't cover the right topics in my opinion. But yeah, USA Today, they seem kind of good. So based off of that, let me look at this article.
Okay.
So it says Cruz is as bad as Trump and maybe worse. Alright.
And there were aspects of Rubio too that were horrible. Like he always like double crossed like everybody he like kind of complied with. Like he like pretend he would be like so fake towards like a certain party. Like, oh, I have all the same views as you. If you give me your vote, I'll back you 100%. Then he gets their vote and moves along, and then just like doesn't. You know, interesting thing is like he did that like on the Tea Party. Like for the Republican Party, like the Tea Party is like a very strong part of their organization.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like, oh, I stand by the Tea Party 100%, like to get like a shit ton of votes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he got all these votes and got like a bunch of like public publicity in the Republican media,
Yeah.
he just did a complete 180 and like just lost all views of the Tea Party. Like he just did that to move ahead and then just like left them in the dust and stuff.
That's scummy. It's really scummy.
It's kind of a Brian Starr move.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just fucking people over to gain attention, gain media coverage. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Like, screw Trump. I think he's a horrible individual. I think he has a lot of shady things around him, as well as Hillary.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
But at the same time, you know for what he stands for, regardless of how weird or shitty or something like that is. he's gonna stand his ground and vocally say what he believes in. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I agree with as far as Trump goes. You should always stand your ground and not be swayed either way because it would make people happy.
Yeah, because Clinton, there's just so much evidence of how, like, one day she says one thing, next day she says something completely different.
Because it's the popular idea at that certain time.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, how can I be hip at this point? How can I be hip at this point?
Fucking memes, dude. Fucking memes are screwing politics over. Did you see the thing on Twitter today about Trump in the robes?
Was that Willie Nelson's guitar shit?
You saw that? Wasn't that shit?
Yeah, I saw that for a split second.
Alright, so
Awesome.
let me just search it. It has over 100,000 retweets. Or over 100,000 favorites. Trump.
I was just watching you scroll through your Twitter thing and I saw the Maddie B thing.
Oh yeah?
That's just fucking
Banned or like grounded from the internet. Oh, where is this at? It's fucking ridiculous
when I can.
and
I'm
cancerous.
sorry.
Trump KKK. Where is this shit at? It is cancerous as hell.
Wait,
It's
is
like-
that whole like KKK thing?
It's like the KKK robes where he has his parents in the picture.
Yeah, you texted that to me right before we started this.
I don't think I did. I tweeted it.
Mm-hmm.
This right here. This shit right here. Alright. Okay, let me read this right here. As long as Twitter deleting this, I'ma keep reposting space exclamation point. 182,000 retweets. 115 likes. Or 115,000 likes.
Yep.
Alright, you see this picture?
Yeah,
See this picture?
look at my camera right now.
It's like a whole thing about it. It's my understanding that black voters are aligned with Trump in greater and greater numbers as election day draws near. This is a picture of Donald Trump with his parents. For those of you too young to know the significance of what they are they're wearing Klan robes. Okay. As in Ku Klux Klan. They were lifelong members. Fred Trump, Donald's father, was arrested in 1927, which is true. The allegations of that event were true. He was arrested.
Wait, his dad was arrested in 27?
His dad was arrested in 27 for affiliation with he was in a KKK mob. Or KKK.
Okay, hold up.
That is allegedly true.
Or at the age of 27?
1927, regardless of what age he was. I don't fucking know what age he was, but in 1927 he was allegedly arrested at a KKK meeting. Almost 2 decades before Donald was born. This picture is towards the end of Fred Trump's life in 1999. Fred Trump, Donald Trump's father, was a member of the Klan for more than 70 years.
Really?
Yet this year, Donald Trump said he didn't know enough about the Klan to disavow them. Why would he lie about that? I am begging everyone to please repost this and repost it often until election day. Donald Trump is a liar and a racist. In bold, I might add you. His not so hidden agenda is to restore white power to America. Understand that his policies will be detrimental to black people in ways for greater and more far-reaching than we can comprehend. And that's it. Now, I saw this tweet today. I saw it yesterday. I didn't really pay much attention to it because I knew it was full of bullshit. Alright, so what I did was search Donald Trump KKK picture. I think that's what I... Alright, Snopes. Donald Trump's parents wore Ku Klux Klan attire. Snopes is a credited news media outlet. Rumor has it. And now, if you look at this photograph right here, if you're good at photoshopping, you can tell it's clearly Photoshop. I'm not good at it, but I've looked at people that say that they're good and said they can tell it's Photoshop. Look at this picture, and then look at this picture.
It's the exact same picture.
It's just the Klan robes are poorly photoshopped on these two people.
Okay, in all honesty, it's done very well on his mother, but on his father, it's done horribly.
Yeah, the mother is a bit alright, but you can still tell. Like, let me zoom it in a bit. Oh god, see how square that is?
Yeah, I can see it now when you zoom in on it, but like from just like a quick glance at it, it's just like, ooh, that looks real.
It's really square looking. See that?
Yeah.
Then you look down here, it's perfectly lined, rounded, as opposed to really square, blocky looking.
Yeah.
No matter what shirt you're wearing, it's not going to be that flat. No way. No way it's going to be that flat. But the father, I think the father is a bit more well done than the mother is. But I don't know. That double chin's kind of cut off right there.
I'm just looking at like the blue alongside of it, and I just thought that looked a little off.
Oh, that's a cape. I can that's part of the Klan robe.
I don't know much about the KKK, honestly. So.
Oh, look. Okay, all right. Let me look at this.
But no, you sent me like a screenshot of that article where it says false and has that picture underneath it.
All right. Okay, look at this.
Right before I called you on FaceTime today.
You were looking at this picture before you called me?
No, dude. Yeah, you sent me a screenshot of that image with it says X false and then showed the KKK picture that was photoshopped.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, I remember that now. All right. It's a key point right here. Pay attention to the hand on his shoulder. Pay attention to it. Look at it clearly.
Okay.
Scroll up. You can see how rounded these collars are and how they fit to their body very clearly. But pay attention to Donald's hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
You see how it moved closer to its neck?
God.
Really, really close. I mean, obviously, it's a good Photoshop at a glance, but if you really pay attention to the photo, you can tell. You can tell. Like, in this picture, you can't even see his pointer finger. Like, what does he have? Like, his finger up on his neck or something?
Yeah.
Like, you can clearly
but you
tell.
know that there's going to be so many kids on Twitter like, oh my god, he's such a racist. Look, his parents are part of the KKK.
Yeah, look at this.
They're not going to look
at
into
this.
it seeing that it is fake.
Like, they're posting this picture, and it's like, God, it just frustrates me so much that people can be so easily swayed with a picture like this.
People are just so ignorant and want to believe things at first glance. And then there's the other end of the spectrum where they're so ignorant that they just want to believe in any sort of like conspiracy or anything that seems like mildly off with something. Like going back to the 9/11 conspiracy thing, like they're just like so ignorant that they want to believe that someone did something like so horrible, you know?
Yeah, but they do either way. All right, going like I didn't really want to do this. Going back to the the government conspiracy thing.
Right.
But they did an anonymous study off of JFK's wound bullet, or not JFK's, but the bullet that hit the was it the governor or the chairman that it also hit? I know it hit Kennedy, but it hit the other person as well.
Oh shit, I forget.
All right, fuck that. I don't care. But
Yeah, we don't have to get to that one. I'm done with the politics for tonight. Shit.
All right. Okay. Well, this isn't really politics. So where they found the bullet, based off of what I know, they found it in the guy's bed. The guy that they tried to save, because Kennedy was already dead at that point. They found it in the guy's bed, the bullet. And then they took that photo of the bullet after it already entered and went out of the wounds of the people. They took that bullet and showed it to people that are very familiar with that sort of thing, like hunters and like just people like that, people that own rifles like that and shoot them. They can tell by the look of that bullet that it didn't hit flesh.
Really?
It didn't hit bone, it didn't hit flesh. That's what they say based off of not anonymously looking at that bullet. Now you tell me that isn't sketchy.
That's a bit sketchy. Yeah, there's so much controversy behind the JFK assassination.
Something like that, something that far ago, and something that weird, that it hit those three people at that angle, just makes me wonder about a situation like that. That they only arrested Oswald and nobody else.
Yeah, and there's so much conspiracy behind, like, oh, Oswald didn't really shoot him, and like there's so much speculation on like multiple different people that could have shot him.
Oh, I believe Oswald shot him. I just think it's just hard to believe. It's hard to believe that there was only one shooter. It's hard to believe that, in my opinion. And to further it, to say that they didn't find the actual bullet, they found the one that was in the bed. It is really hard to believe that that is the case for everything.
Hey, can we take another break real quick because I gotta pee again?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, be right back.
Yep. Alright, so we're back. The original topic I wanted to cover of this podcast was, alright, let me ask you a question, Zach. Have you ever listened, like, okay, do you like Weezer? A bunch?
Yep.
I
mean, I like them, I'm not like a huge, oh my god, Weezer fan, like, but like there are a handful of songs I like really enjoy listening to.
Okay, so you haven't listened to any of their albums full through?
Full through now.
Have you ever heard anything off of Pinkerton?
Off of what?
Pinkerton. Third album.
That's the newest album, right?
That is not their newest album. The newest album is the White Album.
Hold on, let me look at my phone and see which albums I have. Because I have their blue album, I have their green album.
Pinkerton is the black and white album.
Is that the one with Beverly Hills on it?
It is not. Beverly Hills is the black album. Or whatever the fuck it's called. Pinkerton. Where's... Alright, look at my screen. Look at my screen. Look at my screen.
Okay.
Alright. It's that album right there.
No, actually, I've heard anything off that
Never
one.
heard anything off that album.
Not that I know of. Not that I have on my phone. Like, I have Green Album, I have their self-titled, the blue background, I have Make Believe, and I have Gratitude.
Gratitude fucking sucks, dude.
I have the one song, if you're wondering if I want you to, that's like the only song I have from the album.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's one of their hits, so it's like...
Girl, if you're wondering if I want to, I want to.
Alright.
So make a move. Okay.
Alright. Who's this fucking guy right here? Alan Pinkerton. Fuck that guy. Alright. So, Pinkerton is their third album, I believe. Pinkerton album. The second studio album for Weezer. After the Blue album, which I say it ain't so. Sweater Song, Buddy Holly, all those hits. And then you got Pinkerton. The summary of the creation of Pinkerton was their guitarist was in college at that time. They were taking sort of a break because he was going to college and he wanted to start studying at a degree. And then based off of his experiences during that time, like being alone and like dealing with women after fame and everything like that, he wrote lyrics about all of that time alone.
Okay.
And then he wrote songs about those times. And it's a really dark album. And I know I saw your thing about like buying the emo shirt and everything.
Yeah.
If you're going by those guidelines based off of my own psychoanalysis of you, you would love this album. Just the main thing to do is look at the backstory, listen to the lyrics, and listen to the music and how raw it is. There's not much post-production on this album. There's really not.
Oh, wow, okay.
And like, I mean, you've heard El Scorcho, right? That's like one of their hits.
Yeah, I've heard El Scorcho, yeah.
That's off Pinkerton.
Okay.
And you know like the lyrics and theme of El Scorcho, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be good for me. That's basically the album. Just like sexual tension, emotion, hormones, and everything like that after the fame of the Blue album. Everything like that. And you know, like El Scorcho talks about the I asked you to go to the Green Day concert. You said you never heard of them. And like, you know how fucking huge Green Day was big during that era. And the girl said, "No, I've never heard of them." Even though they're like on the radio all the time and in the news all the time. So there's another example of just him being completely honest about certain subjects that were going on in his life in that time.
Yeah, I love lyrical content like that where, like, you know, the Wonder Years used to do that all the time, like their earlier stuff, like, they just, like, basically talk about something that happened in their life. And a lot of pop punk bands these days do it now, like, they just talk about, like, a certain subject, and they talk, like, the lyrics are basically them telling a story, basically, and it's just so vivid and so I like stuff like that. Like the Wonder Years, Real Friends, Knuckle Puck to an extent they kind of do that. So yeah, I think I'll definitely like that out.
Based off of what I've heard of Real Friends, Wonder Years' earlier stuff, to a key, what this album does, to a key. Real Friends, I mean, they're closer to that subject, but they're still looking for a certain song structure or agenda that they're looking for.
Yeah, to an extent.
To an extent.
Their early stuff was very much
Pinkerton, okay, alright. Pinkerton and early Wonder Years, they don't stick to an agenda. They stick to the lyrics and only the lyrics and only the emotion. They don't care about anything else. because they're trying
Yeah,
to
I'll definitely like this.
they're trying to produce raw stories and raw emotion, and that's really really something to appreciate about music.
It really is.
And that's why, like, I mean, Pinkerton is like a legacy, and you know everything about it. Kind of like what we were looking at for Misfits, what we were looking at for Slayer. Songs that are raw. They're raw songs. And songs that are genuine in nature. And that is something you appreciate. And that's why you rock something like this, regardless of what you know about it. Because it's garnered so much positive attention surrounding it because
Right.
of what it is. And I don't know. That's basically what I was trying to get at. I didn't know if you've listened to it or not, but yeah, it's in my opinion, it's the perfect depiction of just raw emotion and just being completely honest in lyrics, not holding anything back. And just based off of everything that he put into this album, um, there's like within any song, you're going to hold back a certain bit of lyrics that you wrote around a subject. So thinking of that common law of songwriting, you can only imagine what he's actually, or what the actual lyrics of the song are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So yeah, I really encourage you to listening to this album for the next podcast, just so we have something to base the next one off of. Yeah, yeah, I really want you to listen to it because I really was hoping that you have listened to it. Or this
I do work tomorrow and I have to write an essay, but Wednesday I'm off work. I have like a couple classes. I'm gonna definitely have time to listen to that later on this week.
Okay, I mean, I was thinking of next week regardless.
Oh yeah,
I mean, yeah, I have other stuff to do tomorrow, like homework and everything. So yeah, I was thinking about next week, either same time or Wednesday night or Tuesday night, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that works definitely.
All right.
I also have another subject to talk about next time. Some with this girl I'm talking to. I think I make a pretty good story for the next podcast.
All right. So yeah, we'll do that next time. Until next time, it's the Whatever the Fuck You Want podcast with Casey and
we'll think of a good name for next time.
Yeah, Casey and Wolf, whatever the fuck you want. All right, see ya.